The person who laughed at your pain is now terrified. God reversed everything. Listen carefully. What you are about to hear was not meant for everyone. It finds you now because a divine reversal has already begun moving in your life, quietly, powerfully, and without permission from those who doubted you. There was a moment when your pain became entertainment to someone else. They laughed when you were breaking. They smiled when you were struggling to stand. They assumed your tears were proof that you were weak, finished, forgotten. But what they never understood is this: heaven does not respond immediately, it responds precisely. I speak to you now in authority and truth. Nothing you endured was wasted. Not one insult. Not one sleepless night. Not one silent prayer whispered when no one showed up for you. Every tear you thought fell to the ground unseen was recorded. Every mocking word spoken behind your back was weighed. And now, the scales have shifted. Here is what they did not expect. God does not defend you loudly at first. He allows time. He allows exposure. He allows people to reveal their hearts. While they were laughing, heaven was arranging. While they were celebrating your fall, divine hands were rewriting outcomes. Pay attention to this moment. The same person who dismissed you is now unsettled. The same voice that mocked your pain has gone quiet. The same eyes that looked down on you are now watching carefully, because something about your life no longer makes sense to them. This is not coincidence. This is reversal. What you are sensing lately, the strange peace, the sudden clarity, the inner strength returning, is not random. It is the signal that authority has shifted. You are no longer standing where you once were. You have crossed an invisible line, and the spiritual atmosphere around you has changed. In the unseen realm, a verdict was issued. The laughter stopped first. Then came fear. Those who thought your suffering meant defeat are realizing too late that your endurance activated protection. They are confused because the outcome they expected never arrived. Instead of watching you disappear, they are watching you rise, calm, focused, unmoved by the same weapons that once hurt you. And here is the part that unsettles them the most. You did not fight back. You did not expose them. You did not seek revenge. You stayed quiet, and heaven moved. That silence was not weakness. It was alignment. While they were busy misjudging you, God was repositioning you. While they were assuming you had no covering, divine authority was being placed around your life like armor. If this message resonates, pause for a moment. Let it sink in. There is a reason you are still here. There is a reason they are suddenly uneasy. There is a reason doors are beginning to open without explanation. What comes next will make the reversal undeniable. Because the very thing they used to hurt you will become the evidence that terrifies them. And in the next moment, you will understand why God waited until now to reveal it. You must understand something now, because clarity is power. The fear rising in them did not come from guilt alone. It came from realization. They are beginning to see patterns they cannot explain. Opportunities aligning for you that should not exist. Strength in your voice that was not there before. A calm in your presence that exposes their inner chaos. This is how divine reversal works. God does not announce it to your enemies. He lets them notice it. What once amused them now disturbs them. Because they remember how broken you were. They remember the version of you that doubted, that waited, that suffered quietly. And now they are asking themselves a dangerous question. How did they survive that? You did not just survive. You were preserved. There were moments you should have collapsed completely. Moments the pressure was heavy enough to crush your spirit. Moments when walking away would have been easier than believing again. And yet, you remained. That is when the assignment against you failed. Hear this clearly. The attack was never meant to destroy you quickly. It was meant to exhaust you slowly. To drain your hope. To make you doubt your worth. To convince you that silence from God meant abandonment. But what they mistook for delay was preparation. While they laughed, heaven fortified you. While they spoke against you, protection surrounded you. While they assumed you were alone, divine presence stayed close, even in the darkest hours when you questioned everything. Now the consequences are unfolding in reverse order. First, confusion entered their life. Then instability. Then fear. Because the same person they thought would remain beneath them is now standing above the narrative. No longer reactive, no longer desperate, no longer begging for understanding. You are not seeking validation anymore. And that terrifies them. People who mock pain rely on one thing: control. As long as you remain wounded, explain yourself, or seek approval, they feel powerful. But the moment you heal quietly, the moment you detach emotionally, the moment you stop responding the way they expect, control collapses. That is what they are experiencing now. They are watching you walk in a new authority without needing to announce it. They feel the shift even if they cannot name it. They sense that whatever power they thought they had over you is gone, and they do not know how to get it back. And here is where fear deepens. Because they also know something else. They know what they said about you. They know what they wished on you. They know what they celebrated when you were hurting. And now they see God's hand lifting you. This is when memory becomes torment. Every laugh replays in their mind. Every insult echoes. Every moment they enjoyed your pain returns with weight. They are afraid not because you threatened them, but because heaven noticed. You did not have to defend yourself. You did not have to expose them publicly. You did not have to prove anything. Your endurance testified for you. And now doors are opening that were once closed. People are treating you with new respect. Your name carries weight again. Your presence shifts rooms. They see it. And they are terrified because they know, if God restored you, then God also remembered everything. Let this settle. Divine reversal is not only about blessing you. It is about correcting imbalance. It is about restoring dignity. It is about justice that does not need shouting. If this message speaks to your spirit, stay aligned. Stay grounded. Stay humble. Do not rush the process. Do not look back for validation. Do not underestimate what is happening behind the scenes. Because what comes next is not just restoration, it is exposure. And when that happens, the laughter will turn into something much deeper than fear. It will turn into regret. And you are about to see why God allowed them to watch the entire transformation without being able to stop it. Do not misunderstand what is happening now. This phase is not about confrontation, it is about revelation. When God reverses a situation, He does not rush to expose people immediately. He allows truth to rise naturally, because truth carries more weight when it stands on its own. And right now, truth is standing beside you. The fear growing in them is not because you became aggressive. It is because you became unguarded. You are no longer bleeding where they once wounded you. You are no longer explaining yourself to those who never listened. You are no longer shrinking to keep others comfortable. That shift is louder than any argument. They are watching you move forward without anger, without apology, without permission, and it is dismantling the version of reality they relied on. Because if you can heal without their acknowledgement, then they never had the power they claimed. This is where the reversal deepens. What they thought was your breaking point became your turning point. What they believed would silence you refined your discernment. What they assumed would end your story activated divine authority within you. You were not just protected, you were marked. Marked by endurance. Marked by obedience. Marked by restraint. Heaven noticed not only what was done to you, but how you responded. And restraint in the face of cruelty is a rare form of strength. It is the kind that invites promotion. Now, listen carefully. The reason they are terrified is because the narrative is no longer theirs to control. The story they told about you is collapsing under the weight of your consistency. People are noticing gaps, contradictions, lies that no longer align with who you are becoming. And here is what unsettles them the most. You did not return to who you used to be. You did not come back angry. You did not come back bitter. You did not come back seeking revenge. You came back clear. Clarity is dangerous to those who thrive on confusion. They depended on your emotional reactions. They fed on your self-doubt. They gained confidence from your vulnerability. But now, your eyes are open. You see patterns you once ignored. You hear undertones you once excused. You recognize manipulation without needing to confront it. And because you see clearly, you move differently. This is why their influence over you ended. Power does not disappear loudly, it fades quietly when awareness enters the room. They sense that you are no longer accessible to the same tactics. They know their words no longer penetrate. They feel that their presence no longer dominates your emotions. And fear grows when old weapons stop working. Understand this, the exposure unfolding is not dramatic yet, but it is inevitable. God exposes in layers. First privately, then relationally, then publicly, only if necessary. Right now, the exposure is internal. They are wrestling with their own conscience. They are replaying moments they thought were forgotten. They are recognizing that you were never the problem, they were. This realization is heavy. Because once someone understands they wronged a protected person, fear follows. Not fear of you, but fear of consequence. You see, mocking pain is not just cruelty, it is a declaration. And declarations echo in the spiritual realm. When they laughed at your suffering, they aligned themselves against what God was doing in you. They did not know that heaven was listening. And now, the same God who remained silent during your pain is responding with precision. Not chaos. Not destruction. Precision. He is removing false authority. He is withdrawing favor from places that misused it. He is redirecting influence away from those who abused it. And you are standing in the center of that correction. That is why your life feels different. That is why peace is returning even before answers arrive. That is why you feel stronger without needing external validation. You are being repositioned. But here is the warning and the promise. Do not speak prematurely. Do not celebrate too early. Do not reveal what God is still building. Silence remains your shield. Let the fruit speak. Let the transformation answer. Let the consistency testify. Because soon, the people who once laughed will have to explain why they were wrong, without you saying a word. And when that moment comes, it will not be loud. It will be undeniable. The next phase will show you why God allowed them to underestimate you for so long, and why the reversal is about to move from internal fear to visible consequences. What happens next will make it clear that this was never just about you. It was about authority. And that authority is about to be displayed. Now the movement shifts from the unseen to the undeniable. This is the moment where what was whispered in the spiritual realm begins to echo in the natural. Up until now, the fear they carried was quiet, hidden behind forced smiles, masked by indifference, covered by pretending not to care. But fear does not remain hidden forever. Because when God reverses a story, He does not only restore the one who was wounded, He dismantles the platform that mocked the wound. This is where authority changes hands. Those who laughed at your pain are starting to experience interruption. Plans stalling without explanation. Influence weakening. Support systems shifting. Nothing dramatic, yet, but enough to disturb their confidence. They are realizing that doors they once opened easily now resist them. Conversations they once controlled now feel uncertain. Their words no longer carry the same weight. And in contrast, look at you. You are being taken seriously in spaces that once ignored you. People listen when you speak. Opportunities appear without you chasing them. Respect is returning, not because you demanded it, but because heaven endorsed it. This is the difference between borrowed authority and assigned authority. Borrowed authority depends on perception. Assigned authority comes from alignment. You paid a price they never saw. You endured isolation they never felt. You stayed faithful when it would have been easier to walk away. That endurance is now being honored. And here is what they did not anticipate. God does not restore you to the same position you lost. He elevates you beyond it. Which is why they feel threatened. They assumed the best you could hope for was recovery. They never imagined advancement. But heaven rewards those who pass the test quietly. This is also why you are being watched again, not with laughter, but with caution. People sense that something about your life is untouchable now. They are careful with their words. They hesitate before underestimating you. You are no longer an easy target. And hear this carefully. Do not harden your heart in this season. Do not confuse authority with arrogance. Do not mistake justice for permission to wound back. Your power remains clean because your spirit stayed clean. Now, there is something important you must understand about support. What God is building through you is not meant to be carried alone anymore. There are people who feel strengthened by these messages, guided by this clarity, anchored by this truth. And when you choose to stay connected, to stay aligned, you become part of a larger movement of restoration. Some of you feel called to support this work not out of obligation, but recognition. A quiet way of saying, I see what God is doing here, and I stand with it. For those who feel led, support through super thanks or by becoming a channel member is not about money, it is about alignment. Membership simply creates a closer space for continued spiritual clarity, deeper messages, and sustained strength. No pressure. Only invitation. Your willingness to stand with truth multiplies its reach. And this matters, because what is coming requires stability. The reversal is not finished yet. There is one final layer they do not see. They assume this shift ends with fear. They think discomfort is the consequence. It is not. Fear is only the beginning. Because the same God who restored your dignity is now preparing to restore your voice. And when that happens, your influence will extend beyond personal vindication. It will affect systems. It will affect narratives. It will affect others who were silently suffering the same way you once did. This is why the enemy is uneasy. You were never just meant to recover. You were meant to lead through example. Your life will answer questions people are afraid to ask. Your calm will challenge false authority. Your consistency will expose insecurity. And you will do it without aggression, without shouting, without revenge. That restraint is what keeps you protected. Now stay alert. Because the final phase will reveal why the person who laughed at your pain is not just afraid, but completely unprepared for what God is about to complete. The last move will close every argument. And when it happens, the reversal will be permanent. This is the closing movement, but not the quiet kind. This is where heaven seals what it started. By now, you can feel it. The pressure has lifted. The confusion has thinned. The heaviness that followed you for so long no longer clings the same way. That is because the cycle is ending. What the person who laughed at your pain never understood is this. When God reverses a story, He does not merely change circumstances, He changes status. And status, once changed by heaven, cannot be revoked by opinion. You are no longer standing as someone who survived. You are standing as someone who was established. This is why their fear will not fade. Because fear rooted in realization does not disappear, it deepens when evidence appears. And evidence is coming. Slowly. Publicly. Irrefutably. They will see you affirmed in ways they never expected. They will hear your name mentioned with respect in rooms where it was once dismissed. They will watch people trust you, follow you, listen to you. And the most unsettling part for them? You will not acknowledge the past. Not because it didn't hurt, but because it no longer defines you. This is the final reversal. You are not chasing closure anymore. You are not waiting for apologies. You are not hoping they finally understand. Understanding is no longer required. Because heaven already made its decision. And now comes the part few talk about. When God restores someone publicly after private suffering, it exposes everyone who misjudged them. Not through confrontation, but through contrast. Your peace will confront their unrest. Your stability will confront their instability. Your growth will confront their stagnation. And they will know. They will know that laughing at your pain was not harmless. They will know that mocking what God was refining had consequences. They will know they stood on the wrong side of a sacred process. But listen closely. Do not watch them fall. Do not wait for their apology. Do not anchor your joy to their regret. Your freedom is greater than that. The purpose of this reversal was never to punish them, it was to position you. And now that positioning is complete. You will move differently from this point forward. You will choose your words carefully. You will protect your peace intentionally. You will discern who has access to you, and who does not. This discernment is part of the reward. And there will be moments, unexpected moments, when people approach you differently. When doors open without explanation. When favor follows you without effort. Do not question it. This is restoration catching up. And if at any point you feel tempted to shrink again, remember this truth. The same God who allowed you to be underestimated also ensured you would never be overlooked. What comes next is expansion. Your influence will extend further than you imagined. Your voice will reach those who are where you once were. Your testimony, spoken or unspoken, will unlock courage in others. And the one who laughed, they will remain a witness. Not to your pain, but to your transformation. That is the final justice. Now stay aligned. Stay grounded. Stay grateful. If this message anchored something in you, remain connected. These words are not random. They are part of a flow meant to strengthen you for what is ahead. Staying present, staying receptive, staying aligned keeps you positioned where clarity continues to meet you. Because this is not the end of the story. It is the moment before something even greater is revealed. What God does next will not just silence doubt, it will redefine what victory looks like. And when that happens, the reversal will speak for itself, without you ever needing to say a word.